their performance management. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, they have the old performance evaluation system. Okay, but then it seems like it did not work all that well for the old performance evaluation system. So then they make some modification. They have the new performance evaluation system, right? So then you also try to know about, what system they use, from the old system. What problem does it have from the old system? Okay, but then after they modified it into the new system, okay, then from the new system, okay, what system do they use? Yeah, after this modified ones, right? But then for the new system, does it really function that well? Yeah, it seems that also has some problem then. Okay, so that's know about more details from the presentation group. Give them a warm welcome, right?
Good afternoon. Today our team is going to talk about the performance management and vitality health and enterprise Inc. Our team, Vickers, me, Garcia, and Jacob. So we are going to talk about the case and the company background, introduce old and new performance management system, evaluation of the new performance management system, and then discuss the questions. This company was founded in 1987 by Hikaru Frank Kikuchi. He started selling cosmetic products imported from Japan to USA after he immigrated from Japan. 10 years later, the company had become the international company, and it acquired a company called Herba Pure Nutraceuticals, which sells health and wellness products. So at that time, the company sells both external beauty products and internal health and wellness products. So another 10 years.
For you both, you can sit over here. Yeah, you don't have to stand up again. Maybe your turn.
So another 10 years has passed. In 2007, the company had grown to a nearly 7,000 employees company, with over 3/4 of the global manufacturing, distribution, engineering, and R&D, and corporate workforce located in and around headquarters in Des Moines. In 2009, the company's growth has stopped because of the global economic crisis. At the same time, it faced the rising material costs, levels of earning, and Kikuchi's personal health. So the founder and the board decided to make some changes. They brought in Beth Williams as the new CEO. She was the global VP of the skincare products at personal care giant Basto and Wyden. But the problem continues until 2009. There was slackening discretionary spending across the global economy and disappointing earnings. So BAF decided to institute a number of cost-cutting measures and set up the Performance Management Evaluation Team, which is PMET. This team was to review the policy and methods for tracking the performance goal of all the non-sale and non-executive employees in the entire company. As per her experience, she believes that an effective management system plus the very good remuneration package could retain the top performance and also hold the employees accountable for their action. It also incentivizes strong employee performance as well, which are very critical to their company. So the team had found that this system existed in 2008, presented problems for approximately 2,500 professional staff of mostly scientists and engineers and their product managers who work in teams in the Des Moines R&D lab. This is their system. You can see that there are a total 13 levels of ranking here for this system. We'll come back to this later. The company used this formulation to calculate each individual's monthly salary. This is called a compound point system, but it caused frustration to the employees. The formulation is base salary plus job evaluation points time increase per point. So in 2009, the base salary was 2019, and then the increase per point was set at 9.06. What job evaluation point is? It was individually evaluating each position in terms of three job evaluation factors. First one is the required technical skills. The other one is the required problem-solving skills, and the third one was the level of the accountability. Each factor was assigned a score according to the company's guideline. And then the sum of the score would define the job evaluation points, which would then be turned to the control points. But this is not the final individual monthly salary. The salary would also be modified by a comparative ratio, which is called compare ratio as well. What compare ratio is? It is commonly used by many companies to assess the competitiveness of the pay level of each position of the company. The formula was current employee salary divided by current market rate. The current market rate was defined by the company's competitive pay policy. So let's see. This is the job point, which is also the control point for each position. Let's say if a position has 500 points, the expected salary will be 7,430 for the individual. However, this is not the final salary. It also has to account it in the compare ratio. If the compare ratio is 90, the salary it will be 7,430 times 0.9, which will be 6,687 per month. Well, I need to make some clarification. What compare ratio also mean? If a compare ratio at 100, that means the employee salary was paid exactly as what the industry average pays. But if the compare ratio is 75, that means that the employee was paid 25 below industry. So this actually affects a lot of the individual's monthly salary. Let's go back to this table. The problem of this old management system founded by the team was that most of the managers gave almost everyone B to C. You can see that almost 97% of the employees fall in this category. Only a few here with A and D, very rare with E. So this had led to the failure of the system to identify top performers from non-performers. And the top employees were not happy about that because they got similar rewards with their less productive workers. Also, this compare ratio also caused frustration to the employee as well. You can see that if an employee got a ranking at A, but with 110, 220 compare ratio, his pay increase, average pay increase is just 5.8. But if the person got B with 80 to 95% of the compare ratio, the pay raise could up to 6.2. So the employees felt that I work harder, I perform better, but I got less pay, or little increase than the people who perform less. So the top performers eventually they will leave the company to pursue a better career, especially a better recognized reward. With this system, the company not just hard to retain the top performers, but also it was hard to locate the low performers or to terminate them. Because of this, BAF decided to instruct the PMET to review and revise this performance management system. So the new system will be presented by Pickes.
Okay, I will continue to the new performance management system. In 6 weeks later, which is in June 2009, William has signed off. William has signed off on the performance management system. This new system would become the basis for annual performance review for the managers and employees to going forward. And after 2 weeks for the announcement of the new system, HR will send the email for all managers and directors into online guidebook with detail of the new system through companies intranet site. And this new system is to clarify the force distribution model of performance based on the performance ranking. And for the performance ranking, this one is the performance ranking, the ranking category system for the new system. And there was a not rated ranking because of the not rated ranking is because of the new employee that entered to the employee for less than 1 years. And the idea was that by doing the ranking category system, it would be easier to determine which category employee fit into. And this managers need to develop specific goals with their individual employees, which is the secondary component in the performance management process. In turn, management will be rated on their performance in meeting staffing need, their effectiveness in training, development, and employees' relation, and their clarify in communication and their implementation of corporate initiative. Then the all performance review and goal setting was conducted in the 1st of January. The compensation also was adjusted to the new system. In the new plan is that the incorporate a system of a performance related to short and long-term cash and equity bonus. Here is the average pay increase by comparison with the new performance management system. And because Williams feel that the new system should have qualification, then they're reviewing the ranking data system. The first, they doing the questionnaire system for doing the evaluation of PM81 system. And the result of questionnaire is about the 54% of employees that agreed for the new system, and 31% of employees is more comfortable to use the old system, and 50% of employees that they don't care about the new and old system. And this survey is focused on group the survey is focused on group with employees and managers itself. And there are problems facing based on the new performance management system. The first is about the managers. The new system made it more difficult to discuss the performance with employees because the yearly process. Because of the managers would give the performance and discuss the performance with employees by yearly process, which is the 1st of January. And based on the compensation, the managers are afraid to to the employees were were more defensive and less open to coaching. It is related to the managers worried that the employee would um, would difficult would sorry this 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 category would focus on key duties of different jobs for the employees. And the force distribution system was too rigid. Why? Because the key problem of this new performance management system, it was when there was a failing department, but they still have top achiever ranking inside, and manager was continued to submit uniform ranking rather than following the new guidelines. And the next is forcing HR to change the ranking to fit the distribution curve. And finally, managers would rotate the highest ranking between their employees from one year to the next. And here is the positive and negative comments among the employees regarding to the new system. The first is the negative comment comes from employees. Some people are having trouble with adapting. And the positive comment is about the forced distribution has made manager make some decision. And there are several negative comments also. Employees do not know about the training of the new system, which is the company has the company just send their email for the notification of the new system, and the company shouldn't force a distribution at either end of the scale, low or high. And there is some feedback regarding to the new system. The first is about some people might think that a new system is a step in the right direction, and because of there is no way to show to the employee with a high and low category. And some employee might think that I don't mind the new system, but the timetable was better below. And the labels are a problem. Why? Because they give labels name are this one: top achiever, low achiever, acceptable, and non-rated acceptable. And the moral problem is also affected to the label system, and significant problem between line and staff people. It is when the line people are doing a good job, then there is no change for staff people to get more compensation. And the forced distribution inappropriate is inappropriate. And the last of comment is the whole thing is ridiculous. And this will be explained more into the question of cases by Jacob.
Now I'm going to talk about the question of the cases. First, I'm going to answer about who be in charge for evaluating the employees' performance. And it should be managers, would be the leaders of for evaluating the performance, because according to the case is managers is a person to develop a specific goals for the employees, and because of that managers has to be more detailed about to give the scores or do the appraisal from for in all of performance of the employees. But there's some problem regarding about the appraisal forms, uh, because from the employees give the negative opinion about it, because some employees felt that they being rated based on not based on their jobs or the requirements, but against each other's works. It's because the rated system in the new ranking system is based on how to fit the target distribution or fit the target or distribution curve, because there's the target and also the constraints, how the minimum and the maximum people who acceptable to get the ranking. And it also happens because the managers uh, also felt it difficult to discuss performance, because in 1 year the managers only have 1 month to do the appraisal front for all of the employees. So maybe the results of the appraisal fronts is kind of doubtful or biased. So to prevent the negative and also the unfair results, so maybe so maybe the according to the case need to more direct and a personal appraisal form. So who should do the appraising? So the first has to be a supervisor, and the supervisors is actually observes and evaluates and for their subordinates' performances. But however, supervisor or as the raters tendency to make like a subjective assessment. So to prevent also that bias, we need to add more appraisal, like a self-evaluate, because the employees have a right to rate themselves, even though they maybe rate themselves in the more higher rating, but it's as a for the employees is as a defense of the judgment made by others of the employee, but they have to make like a good reason behind it. So for the peers also is needed, because we for to prevent the bias we need to rated by the other peoples, like our colleagues or our teammates, because they meet every day, and also the results may be more realistic. So the last is the subordinates. It's also the appraisal for the manager's performance, because according to the case, managers or the top managers is kinda lack of the performance to give the right decision for the ranking. So maybe the employees or their subordinates give the critique or the opinion to the managers, so the managers can evaluate their styles of work.
Okay, Jacob, pause for a little bit. So, what other tool can be used except for all this evaluation tool that Jacob mentioned about? Is there any others? I'm sure it has, right? Yeah, you understand? The customer? Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's so-called which
type of evaluation approach? Yeah, like 360 degree then. Yeah, all right. And what other? Yeah, what other tool? I think we also mentioned about some other evaluation tool, except for all of this, and also the 360 degree. Yeah, rating committee. Yeah, I think in for this company, yeah, probably to formulate a rating committee, I think it's it's also a good approach then. Yeah, they can find some managers from different department, yeah, to formulate a committee. Yeah, so then it will be also kind of bring more objective assessment then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Move on.
So the next question is, what should leaders do when individual team organization performance is lacking? We provide some methods. First is coaching methods, because especially for the employees who get the bottom ranking, they need to be more recognized. So the top managers or the supervisor can coaching the who people who get the bottom ranking, and also maybe like evaluating the employees for each month or like each week or something like that. But the according to the case, it's only a 1 month, so it's like it's more be evaluate for the company. And the second is the motivation methods. Related to the reward system, because for the motivation methods for the reward systems is providing the consequences needed to keep the employee's goal directed performance on the track.
Jaka, is that coaching or couching?
Oh, sorry, coaching. This is typo. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Yeah. No coaching, right? They stay in the couch.
Next is
By the way, you want to take a break or let them finish? Then we finish the class already.
Hi everyone. So the next question is, should the new performance review system at Vitality Health be revised? And what changes would you recommend for the new performance management system? How should the changes be implemented? Carefully consider the consequences. To answer the first question, our team decided yes, the new performance review system at Vitality Health should be revised, and the reasons and the recommendations are here. Because the new system is based on forced distribution model, which is very unfair and biased, so we should change it. It is a forced distribution model because, as you can see, it is divided into percentage. The target are divided into percentage, which is very limited. 10%, 75, and these are the ranking categories. So it's very already predefined that they have to, the managers or the supervisor have to fit their employees, their subordinates, into these percentage, into the these ranking categories, which is the definition of forced distribution model. And there are also constraints, which is also again a percentage based, which is also forcing the managers or the supervisors to force their employee into these percentage of the constraint. And to conquer this situation of forced distribution model, we should our team decided that we should remove the target and constraint, which appraises the low achievers and the achievers more than the top achievers. As you can see, that the top achievers can only be maximum of 14%, but the achievers can be 75 to 70%, and the low achievers can be 12 to 7%. which is very unfair because the top achievers will only be 10% because the achievers quota is too much. It is 75%, which will be forced on manager to mostly rank their employees as achievers. Then the not rated is a big problem. We decided that it should be replaced with to be observed because the not rated is ranking position is for only the employees who are in the company, who has been in the company only for a year or less than a year. So this is very, very biased because a new employee could have so much experience. For example, a new employee is employed after having 15 years experience or 10 years or maybe just 5 years, but it still counts, right? So if they have experience, they could contribute a lot to the new company they're assigned for. So we also gave this idea that this new employee constraint to be not rated should be a little flexible. Maybe reduce the year amount to months, maybe 3 months or 6 months. So after the 3 months or the 6 months, an employee, the new employee, would be available to be rated and not just left out for another year to be not rated and do not contribute. And generally, Vitality Health should set up a review committee, as our professor said, and I think Josh also recommended this, to review low rankers, because the low rankers are only unacceptable, and this is 3%. So they could be only fired, or maybe coached. They will be coached further to be retained in the company, which is highly unlikely. So we should set up a review committee of different managers from different departments, and it should also have the immediate supervisor and some other supervisors in the committee. And train the raters and managers to be objective and use multiple raters. As our professor also mentioned before this question, that there should be multiple raters, and they should be objective, not subjective, because subjectiveness is based on biasness most of